Good evening. I would like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, Mrs. Burns.
Mrs. Hallenbeck?
Present.
Mr. Cirillo?
Here.
Mr. Allen and Mrs. Bowman are both absent with prior notice. Mr. Kovitz?
Here.
Mrs. Lafferty?
Here.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Here.
Mr. Sporny?
Here.
And Mr. Sullivan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Will everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? The board met in executive session this evening prior to this meeting to discuss employee-related appointments, retirements, and resignations, and confidential student-related matters. Mrs. Burns, any announcements?
No announcements.
Mr. Bowman, superintendent's report, please.
Thank you, Ms. Hallenbach. This afternoon, I had the pleasure of attending a small ceremony to accept a $50,000 donation from the Neshaminy Kids Club over at the high school. This donation covers the cost of a new electronic scoreboard on our multi-purpose field, which has a similar look to the scoreboard in the stadium, including raised letters spelling Neshaminy on the top and a video screen. Our partnership with Neshaminy Kids Club has always been a strong one, and we very much appreciate all the extra support they have given us over the years, going above and beyond, providing an excellent after-school program in our schools. And they're a great partner in the community, and obviously through donations like this, they do everything they can to support Neshaminy and our students, so thank you to them. Last week, the high school held its National Honor Society induction ceremony. This year, we had 179 students join the ranks of those honored, and we congratulate each of them on this proud accomplishment. The high school also honored student musicians during the Tri-M Music Honor Society on October 12th, and the drama department held a ceremony to honor 11 students inducted into the Thespian Society on October 5th. Congratulations to those talented students for making Neshaminy proud with their accomplishments as well. Over the past few weeks, our local firefighters have been visiting the elementary schools during Fire Prevention Month to talk about fire safety and give them demonstrations of their firefighting gear and trucks. I know our students always look forward to these important demonstrations, and we're very grateful to our first responders for taking time to come and help them appreciate everything they do to keep all of us safe. And finally, we have a couple students with us tonight, as well as Ms. Carol Foley, one of our teachers from Maple Point, to talk about a very important event here at the school. Make sure you introduce yourself, ladies.
Read the book, yep.
Good evening. I am Casey Routh. And I am Brindley Barretto. Maple Point Middle School will be holding its annual Veterans Day ceremony on Thursday, November 9th, 2023. This will be our 22nd year celebrating these heroes. The ceremony will take place in the Maple Point Middle School auditorium. This is a wonderful way for our students and community to show appreciation for the sacrifices that our local veterans have made and to celebrate the courage our veterans have shown in defending our country.
The Maple Point staff and students would like to invite veterans in our community to attend the celebration at Maple Point Middle School the morning of November 9th. Attendees should arrive at the auditorium lobby at 9 a.m. for refreshments and check-in. The ceremony will begin at 10:30 a.m. Veterans who are interested in attending should contact Maple Point Middle School at 215-809-6230 or register in the main office at Maple Point. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you on November 9th.
Thank you.
Great job, ladies, and we look forward to that event. It's always one of our favorites every year. It's a tremendous job that Maple Point does putting on our Veterans Day ceremony. So thanks for being here and letting the community know about that. And that's all I have, Ms. Hamba.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Mrs. Burns, are there any announcements, please? I mean, not announcements, public comment.
Yes. David DeBellius?
Yep. State your name, area you reside. You have 3 minutes. Nope. Thank you.
Yep, I'm on. There we go. My name is David DeBellius. I'm a resident in Woodland Crossing, 846 Greenridge Circle. And I've been a resident here in the township for a good number of years now. I recently just moved up there. I'm coming to the school board because of my daughter, my stepdaughter. I have a daughter at the high school and I have a stepdaughter at Bequessing. My stepdaughter is a special education student. She struggles, and she is struggling this year. And as a stepfather in a blended family where we have a lot of blended families in this school district, I'm finding myself asking a lot of questions with our IEP team. Last year, I was informed that they were giving her every accommodation they could possibly give her in the school. We met with Mr. Yanniconi, and I never pronounce it right, hope I did. And he suggested that we possibly enroll her at Maple Point because they have a specialized program for special education students, which are smaller classes, more focused, one teacher, which is proven to be effective with students such as my stepdaughter. When I asked why that program wasn't available at Bequessing, Mr. Yanniconi said that's a question you need to ask the school board. I was on my way to do that, and then we had a change in the superintendent. I was in touch with our previous superintendent and going over those along with numerous other things involving my girls. I'm a proud father. My stepdaughter's father lives in Vermont. He was able to attend her IEP via Zoom, but there's only so much he can do. And the problem is with a blended family, getting the agreement to her for her to go to Maple Point, which was an option, has to be agreed upon by both of the biological parents. If one of them disagrees, she can't go there. So my question is, and I've done the best math I can with the budget here, is I've been looking at how much we pay in school taxes. I'm looking at how much we're spending on athletics. When we have a number of students in special education that would love to go out for sports, but they're failing because they don't have everything they need. Her teachers do the best job they can. But as a father of my daughter and my stepdaughter, I have to say the best is not good enough right now. They don't have the specialized program at the other two middle schools that they need. When I tried looking up information, I had to find out what is it that an average salary is for a teacher in the Neshaminy School District. And I looked at these numbers for how many schools we have versus how much it would cost to add more special education teachers into the other two middle schools to help foster these children, to help them succeed, to help my stepdaughter come home and not cry because she's got an F in science. And the school is trying the best they can, but they don't have the resources that Maple Point does. When I took a look at it, we're looking at just around $2 million to hire on 33 teachers. That's 3 additional special ed teachers in each of our schools minus Maple Point, since they already have a program. When we're looking at revenue at over $400 million, taxes, if we actually did the taxes the way they were supposed to be, over $287 million would be coming in from our taxes. Now you subtract that from people that are in apartments and lower income families, you're still not at what I saw from the estimated taxes for the school, which came out to somewhere under $200 million. Revenue is an estimated $439 million. The school board needs to find a way to make this work. I would love for my daughter to go out for sports. She wants to go out for track. She wants to do softball. In order to do that, you have to have good grades. Is that correct? You can't be failing courses and going out for track. So I work with another school, with a private school with special education kids. I volunteer my time there because I went through that system. I was a special education student from 3rd grade until the day I graduated. Since I graduated, I've opened up my own business, held a 25-year military career, held an 18-year career in public safety, and I teach part-time for a college. So I am proof that that smaller class size can work. My senior year, my class only had 7 students in it. Half a day of vocational, half a day in class, 1 teacher, and it worked. I am begging the school board, when I looked at these numbers, we spent an estimated $13 million to upgrade an athletic field. What good is upgrading an athletic field if we're letting our students down to where they can't go out for athletics because they can't pass the general courses? I know I'm over my time limit. I appreciate the patience, and I would love to know who I need to talk to get my kid the help that she needs. And that for every other special education parent or blended family going through this. My wife is at home taking care of our kid tonight because she's got to help her with homework that's a week old. Some of the teachers won't let her do a retake on tests where she's supposed to have that accommodation. She's failing in 2 courses. And all I want is for this 12-year-old to succeed. And I am begging the school board, find the money out of $500 million, find somewhere around $2 million to bring on more teachers and put these programs that you have here at Maple Point into the smaller and older schools in the district so our kids can have a better shot.
Mr. DeBellis, I'll talk to you afterwards, and we'll get you the put in front of the people that we need to, so that they can discuss it in detail with you and your situation.
It's not just mine. It's how many other students are going through it. And like I said, the IEP team's been great. Mr. Annacone, I spoke to him, and he said Maple Point has the program, and if you can't get in there, we don't know what else to do. And that's not an answer for me as a father. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask you to give your name and number to Dr. Kane in the back. He oversees People Services Department, and we can at least then start to get you to the right people. He can get your child's name so we can see exactly what that IEP and so forth looks like, and we can go from there. From a revenue standpoint, we do not bring in $400 million. We bring in about $200 million in revenue is our revenue. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that number came from. I believe you. I'm just telling you, the factually, we bring in about $200 million in revenue. But again, I want to make sure we get you to the right people. We take a look at the IP, make sure we're addressing things how we need to. If you could, Dr. Kane in the back of the room there in the corner, be happy to get your information, and we will get in touch and see what we can do.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for coming.
I'd like to make a master motion for routine matters 2.01 minutes, 2.02 treasurer's report, 2.03 check register and procurement card purchases, 2.04 budget transfers, 2.05 investments, and 2.06 exonerations. There is a motion on the floor. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Sullivan. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Vote passes 7-0. Mr. Cirillo, please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve 3.01 retirements, resignations, end of assignments. Resolved that the Neshaminy Board of School Directors hereby approves the following retirements, resignations of administrative staff. And there are 2 names there.
Thank you, Mr. Cirillo. There's a motion on the floor. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kovitz. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Vote passes 7-0. Mr. Sullivan, please.
Personnel certificated. I'd like to make a master motion to approve item number 4.01, retirements, resignations, and end of assignments, 4.02, appointments, 4.03, leaves of absence, 4.04, revised leaves of absence, 4.05, co-curricular appointments, 4.06, resignations of ancillary appointments, and 4.07, ancillary appointments.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. There's been a motion on the floor. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rodriguez. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Vote passes 7-0. Ms. Lafferty, please.
I'd like to make a master motion under Personnel 5.01, retirements, resignations, end of assignments, 5.03, leaves of absence, 5.04, revised returns from leave, 5.05, ancillary appointments.
Thank you, Ms. Lafferty. There's been a motion on the floor. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Cirillo. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Vote passes 7-0. Ms. Lafferty, please.
I'd like to make a motion, 5.02, appointments. Resolved that the Neshaminy Board of School Directors hereby approves the following appointments of support staff. numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8 at this time.
There's been a motion on the floor. May I have a second, please? Second by Mr. Rodriguez. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Vote passes 7-0. Mr. Rodriguez,
I'd like to make a motion on 6.01, Sunday facility usage. Whereas according to the board policy number 800, facilities fields may not be scheduled on Sundays without school board approval. Now therefore be it resolved that the Neshaminy Board of School Directors hereby approves Sunday usage for the Langhorne Athletic Association, which has requested Sunday usage for Maple Point Middle School Gym and Pearl Buck Elementary School Gym on Sunday from December 2nd, 2023 to March 16th, 2024.
thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. There's been a motion on the floor. May I have a second, please? Second by Mr. Sporny. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Vote passes 7-0. Mr. Kovitz, please.
I'd like to make a motion for 7.01, overnight trips. Whereas according to board policy number 231.1, trips extending overnight are permitted by authorization of the Board of School Directors only. Now therefore be it resolved that the Neshaminy Board of School Directors hereby approves the following overnight trips, and there are 2 of those.
Thank you, Mr. Kovitz. There's been a motion on the floor. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Sullivan. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Vote passes 7-0. That brings us to the closing of the meeting. Does anybody have any other board business they'd like to discuss? Is there anybody else that would like to make a public comment? Come up to the podium. Any board comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to further thank Neshaminy Kids Club. They do a fantastic job with our kids. My own children were beneficiaries of their hard work, and now one of my sons has been working for them for about 5+ years now and loves it, continues to enjoy it. And so thank you for all their hard work, and I'm glad we have a partnership like that. So there you go.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I just want to make a comment. I feel bad the father left. David, forgive me. I'm not going to Debelius. Just as a parent who had a child in this school district that had an IEP, and from the time he came here in 2nd grade through graduation and everything, it's not easy. And I do have concerns, and if people have concerns, you have to address it with administration. I mean, email me on the board. If IEPs are not being followed, that's a problem. If IEPs are not seeing the results that they are designed for, that has to be addressed. My son, when he came here, could hardly talk. He graduated with an amazing grade point average, and they got it right. He went to trade school. He has a job. So I know this district does it right. I came from another district, and when we got here, he was woefully behind. So I don't like to hear that stories. I agree with him. I don't think his daughter should have to go to another school to get that kind of, whether we have to do it, whether we have to get somebody from the IU to do it. But yeah, we have to make sure that this stuff is right, and that I take that. It's a big deal to me. I'm also on the Bucks County IU board, and full disclosure, they do an amazing job. They're a great partner with us and all the 13 districts in this county, and there's resources that are available to our kids. And if they're not getting it, you gotta let us know. I mean, yeah, I get it. We do stuff with fields projects and build schools and all that, but we don't know what we don't know. So, you don't have to tell any other school board. My email is pcirillo@neshaminy.org. Flood my email if you got problems. I need to know. I don't have a problem fighting for kids who need IEPs. I'm not saying anybody else doesn't, but I'm only speaking for myself. So, Mr. DeBillius, if you watch this on replay, I'm in your corner. So, that's it. Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Okay, future meetings, it's not listed on here, but there is a policy committee meeting this Thursday, the 26th, at 6:30, right in this room. So if you want to come out and hear about all the lovely policies that Neshaminy has and what we're working on, come, excuse me, join us. And then after that, the next board meeting is November 8th, which is a Wednesday, in this room at 7 o'clock. And I'm not going over any more of that. Anybody else? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Second by Mr. Sullivan. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.